I have the 410 kit tools in front of me. I'm going to load this 410. It's been reloaded a couple of times. It's looking rather dogged on the end. Ones fired are actually a lot cleaner looking, but I'm going to use this one just to show you can get a pretty good crimp even out of well-used shells. So the first thing I'm going to do is I've already put my powder in here. I'm now going to put my wad inside. This is the type of wad I use. It's just a generic cup style wad. I get it from Ballistic Products. Use its end of the funnel to bevel the case mouth. Insert the wad. Use your ramrod to push the wad down right on top of the powder charge. Now I'm going to fill the wad with my shot charge. This is a pre-measured shot charge using our powder shot vials. I also have them for the powder also. I'm going to pour this in. And tamp down the shot charge. I like to use an overshot wad. I make them myself. You can buy them commercially, but I like them to have that cush so that when I put the crimp down on top of the shot charge, it doesn't deform the shot charge. So I put that on top, press that down. What I want it to do is to be just below the crimp line. That's perfect. You don't want it too far below, but you don't want it above, or the crimp won't fold over. Next, I'm going to take my Mech 6-point crimp starter. Now, most 410s only come as a 6-point, or you can also do a roll crimp. So if you have brand new hulls that have never been loaded, you're going to need to roll crimp them and get a roll crimp tool. Because this is a reloader, and it's meant to fire to reload once fired shells. So I'm going to put this in. I'm going to rotate. You can feel the splines match up. I'm going to push, and you're going to see that it closes it to about a 30-degree angle. Now we need to flatten this out even more. So on the base, this last hole is meant for you to insert this nose down, push down, and if you heard that, what that did is it more or less almost flattened the crimp. Finally, it goes in the non-sizing end, and the non-sizing end is the one that has the knurl on it. It'll slide right in. Now we're going to take the set tool, push that in, and I like to hold them like this in my hand because now I've got pressure. I can push in, and I'm going to push in until that crimp starts to set. Let's take a look and see how it looks with just that little bit of pressure. There you go. Now, if you go deeper, you might get a little bit of a case bulge, which is normal because as this fires and opens and closes in firing, the crimp line gets thinner and it can cause a bulge. So I'm going to push in just a little deeper, and I've got just a slight tiny little bit of bulge right there, and that is what the swage tool's for. You put the swage tool over the bulge, give it a little push, and what it does, it swages that little bulge or swelling down, and that's important if you're shooting a semi-automatic firearm. Now, on the end, you can see right here that the crimp is still nicely formed. If you want to push this out, just go ahead and push it out. And basically, you've got a very nice shell. Now this right here is a factory new shell. It's never been fired. And this is our reloaded shell. This is also another reloaded shell that I made some time ago. You can see it's dirty on top. I don't put them in a case tumbler. But you can get very respectable reloads if you just follow the technique. And it's a little bit of a learning curve to find out how much pressure to pin. If you want to put in more pressure, Well, I hope that's been informative, but this is the finished reload right here. You wanted to see a close-up of it, and there it is. There is no bulge on this, so this would feed in a semi-automatic without any problem. But this is the area right here that gets the weakest because it opens and closes and opens and closes with each reload. I do the non-sizing method in the instructions because it makes my brass last 3 times longer, and these are hard to find and hard to get.